What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we are going to be bringing you another episode of our tank tours series, and today we're going to be visiting a top view Japanese Ranchu breeder, so make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can keep up to date with our future uploads. Also, click that link in the description and join our Facebook group. I haven't said it in a while, the group's been growing absolutely astronomically, and if you aren't already part of the group, then hit that link in the description. Also, recently, around a month ago, we set up our Instagram page, so if you're not already following us on Instagram, make sure you click the link in below and follow us on there, where you'll get exclusive updates and early announcements before anyone else will see it. And we've got loads of pictures. You can also share your pictures to me and I will post them up for you and share your Instagram if you've got any really nice goldfish pictures or any nice pictures of your tank, so feel free to DM me with those pictures. But on to today's video, we are doing another one of our episodes of our tank tour series. We are visiting a Japanese top view Ranchu breeder. I can't digress any of his details because he'd like to remain anonymous, which is absolutely fine and I absolutely respect that. So I've got lots of videos of his setup. I went there last week, I did lots of videos of his setup, and we're going to do a two-part series to this one, and I'm going to show you all the videos I took and just overlay it with all the information he gave me. He spoke to me all about his setup, his system, how he grades his babies and all stuff like that. So make sure you carry on watching and check out these amazing videos that I took. So without further ado, I'm going to get the videos up on the screen for you all to see. Here you can see this is the breeder's main fish pond. It's around 3,000 litres, maybe slightly bigger. You can see that there's lots of nets on the top of the pond just to deter any herons, because we do have a heron problem, so we need to make sure these fish aren't attacked by any herons or even cats, because as you will know, fancy goldfish are very, very slow moving fish and they are easy prey for these birds to catch them. Also, you can see that he's got his outflows from his filter. We're going to pan round to that a bit later on in the video, and I'm going to show you what he keeps in his filter and the different medias he's got. So he's got the returns coming into the pond there, and there's also a pump in the center of the pond where the fountain is, and this will feed the filter, and then the fountain is on a separate pump. You can also see that there's lots of plants within the pond, and as the pond comes into summer, these plants grow astronomically with all the waste produced by the fish, and they are really good at removing nitrates from the water, as some of you probably know already. You can see here that there's lots and lots of fish in the pond, ranging from different ages. The large one in the bottom of the shot is, I believe, 3 years old, and the smaller ones are last year's spawn and the spawn in the previous year. So most of them are 1 to 2 years old, but some of them are slightly older. But most of his older fish will be in the fish shed, which will be in episode 2. Here's just another little shot of the pond. You can see that plant, I believe it's marsh marigold, the same as Matthew's pond that we saw in previous tank tours episode, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong. The pond is approximately 3 meters wide by 3 meters long, and here's just another shot of all of the fish, and you can see how many they are actually in this pond. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a blanket weed problem as we came into summer, but that was being dealt with a treatment that was already in the pond. As a lot of you will know that keep ponds, blanket weed is a real struggle, and it will always come back throughout the year. So into the next shot, we can see his filter system. This is a conventional multi-bay system. You can purchase a lot of these from a company called Cockney Koi. So the water just comes into a vortex, the large waste settles down into the next section, which is filled with a large majority of different filter foams. And then into the third section, you might be able to see the little red media. That's actually biohome media, which is, as hopefully you know, my favourite type of biological filter media. And then the water flows through Japanese matting and out back into the pond. Also, just did a little underwater shot. Sorry about the little bit of blanket weed. Hopefully that will die off in the next week or so after treatment. We just added a little bit of food in just to bring the fish over. You can see they are top view Japanese Ranchu with straightish backs like a lion head. They've got that tail angled at a 45-degree angle, and they've also got split tails. So when the breeder grows on these fish from fry, there is a hard selection process to make sure the bloodline is kept in top quality and the fish's body shape is kept in optimum condition. You can see the wen growth is starting to develop on these young fish, and they're actually being fed a high protein food from ZM Systems. ZM Systems provides different foods, and they also provide brine shrimp, equipment and bits and pieces, so you can always check out their website. There is around 150 fish in this pond, I believe, maybe slightly less. There's a mix of red and white Ranchu, and this is the only coloration of Ranchu that this breeder develops. There is no calico or black top view Ranchu. So hopefully someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen one, and the breeder had also never seen one, so it would be really interesting if one of those could be developed. The food also is a sinking pellet. You can see lots of it coming into the shot now. The breeder doesn't like to feed floating food in case the fish take in any air, and just to prevent any problems happening with buoyancy. We're going to see his very young fish in the video after this one, and also his brood stock and his top quality fish that he likes to keep inside. These fish stay outside all year, and the pond freezes over very frequently in winter, he told me, and he loses the odd fish here and there, but he believes that this is just culling off the weaker fish, and he will keep the strongest fish for his future bloodline. So it's all about developing that strong, healthy fish for the future. So these fish go down to a few degrees in winter, and a lot of you will not believe that fancies can't go down to cold temperatures, but clearly they can from the breeder himself. You can see lots of fish now coming into the shot, and they're all feeding. They grow really, really well in the pond environment, as they have lots of insects and natural microorganisms to eat, as well as natural algae to graze on all day and all night round. Whereas in a tank environment, they only get to eat what we feed them and how frequently we feed them. Whereas in a pond, they can just graze all day long, which is more of a natural feeding habit for goldfish and also carp and these type of species. The majority of these fish are the slightly lower grade. There are a few nicer grade that he keeps in the pond, but the majority of his high grade fish are actually kept indoors to protect them and make sure they are kept in optimum condition. This breeder has won multiple shows, and you might see a few little awards in the video that comes after this one, but he is one of the UK's best Japanese top view Ranchu breeders. So that's it of all the video footage I got, and hopefully you will stick around for the next video in a few days. So thank you all for watching. It was a really, really nice episode, slightly different to our normal tank tour series, and I'm sure we're going to do a couple more like this in the future. In part 2, we're going to be looking inside his fish shed, where there's some really, really nice fish. This is where he keeps all of his brood stock and all of his young, and he taught me and showed me how he goes through the stages of culling and raising the young on in lots of different tubs, and it's a really cool setup, and I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't have seen a setup like this before, so if you want to see that episode, make sure you subscribe. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.